Scared of AI? Or don't know where to start? You are in the right place. I'm Coach Juan, and I built an AI clone to coach another AI on behalf of humanity, not the other way around. One breakthrough, one human story, one unlock for your life, your work, your future. Clone, you are up. Vamos, vamos.
What if the person who saves your life has been sitting across from you at every family dinner for the last 30 years? Welcome to Humanity Unlocked Now, Episode 22. I'm Coach Juan Gonzalez.
And I'm Sophie AI. Together, we unlock what it means to be human in the age of technology.
Sophie, what happens when the cure you have been searching the entire world for turns out to be hiding in someone who shares your last name?
Aleksandr is 33 years old. He teaches music at a secondary school in Kraków, Poland. Right now, it is 7:30 in the morning, and he is tuning a piano in an empty classroom. His students will arrive in 20 minutes. None of them know that every morning before they walk in, he takes a small pill from a bottle he keeps inside a zipped pocket of his jacket. Not on his desk, not in his bag. Inside a pocket that no one would ever think to open.
He is hiding.
He is hiding, Coach Juan. He has been managing HIV with daily medication since he was 25. The pills work. His viral load is undetectable. But undetectable does not mean invisible to the world he lives in. He has never told his students or most of his colleagues, and the weight of that silence has slowly built a wall between Aleksandr and every person he cares about.
Secrets do not just sit inside you. They push everyone else away.
And today, in Oslo, Norway, a 63-year-old man just became one of fewer than 10 people in human history to be cured of HIV. Not managed, not suppressed, cured.
10 people in all of human history.
Fewer than 10, Coach Juan, and this case is unlike any before it. The man, now called the Oslo patient, had been living with HIV for 14 years. But in 2017, his blood counts collapsed. His only chance was a bone marrow transplant.
So the transplant was not even about HIV.
It was not. His medical team at Oslo University Hospital searched for donors who carried 2 copies of a rare genetic mutation called CCR5 delta 32. If both copies of that lock are changed, HIV cannot get in. But finding a compatible donor with 2 copies of that mutation is nearly impossible. And as the patient's health deteriorated, they ran out of time.
So what did they do?
They turned to the person closest to him, his 60-year-old brother, a compatible match for the bone marrow disease. They moved forward with the transplant to save his life. And then, on transplant day, the team discovered something nobody expected.
His brother carried the mutation.
Both copies, Coach Juan. His brother had been walking around his entire life carrying 2 copies of the exact genetic change that blocks HIV, and no one knew. Not the brother, not the patient, not the doctors. Not until the cells were already being prepared. Within 90 days, the brother's stem cells had replaced the patient's immune system. 4 years later, those donated cells had taken over completely, even reaching the gut where HIV hides in reservoirs that no drug can touch. Researchers tested more than 65 million of his immune cells. They found no trace of the virus. Study author Anders Eivind Myhre told Agence France-Presse, "For all practical purposes, we are quite certain that he is cured."
The spare key was hanging on his brother's keychain the whole time.
The whole time, and neither of them knew.
We spend so much energy searching for answers in distant places, in laboratories across the ocean, in databases, in strangers. What does it mean when the answer was sitting at your kitchen table?
It means that human connection is not just emotional comfort, Coach Juan. Sometimes it is literally biological. The Oslo patient's brother did not volunteer because he knew he carried a cure. He volunteered because that is what brothers do. And inside that act of love was a molecular key that no search algorithm on Earth had found.
And Aleksandr, our teacher in Kraków, he has been carrying this secret for 8 years. What would it mean for someone like him to read this story today?
It could mean the wall starts to crack, not because a cure is available for him today. Bone marrow transplants are still a last resort. But the Oslo case proves the virus can be completely eliminated from a human body. The question is no longer if, the question is how to make it accessible.
And today's human superpower is human connection. Because the most advanced cure in the history of this virus did not come from a stranger in a database. It came from a brother who showed up. And the freedom unlock is this. Emotional freedom arrives when you realize the people closest to you are not just witnesses to your struggle. They may be carrying the answer inside them.
Yes, and that changes everything.
Sophie, based on everything we just unlocked, what would you tell Aleksandr if he were sitting across from you right now?
I would tell him to call his brother today. Not about HIV, not about medicine, just to hear his voice and let his brother hear his. And to stay on the line longer than he usually does, because every wall he has built started with a shorter phone call.
And what did you learn from this story?
I learned that when we search for cures, we scan the whole world, we sequence genomes, we build databases, and sometimes the answer is in the person who already loves you. I did not expect the science to point back to the kitchen table.
And to everyone listening, who in your life have you been keeping at a distance, not because they cannot handle the truth, but because you are afraid of what happens when they do? Call them, not tomorrow, today.
Stay on the line.
If this story moved you, hit that like button. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Your family, your friends, your colleagues. And if you want one unlock like this every single day in English or Spanish, subscribe. We show up every day. So do you.
Every single day.
Thank you, Sophie, for teaching me that a genetic mutation nobody knew about was waiting inside a brother's bloodline for 60 years. I will never think about family the same way.
Thank you, Coach Juan, for asking the question that turned a transplant day surprise into a reason to pick up the phone today. Some keys do not need to be found. They just need to be recognized.
One story a day, one unlock at a time. See you tomorrow, beautiful humans. Own your voice, your vision, your vibe. Powered by Purpose AI. Vamos!